Welcome to my chess learning chapter number 3. In the previous video we have seen the pawn's movement, right? So in this video we are going to see some additional features of pawn. We are going to see how does a pawn move, how does a pawn captures, and some special cases a pawn can only do. So let's get started. As you already know, the starting or the initial position for the pawn is the second rank. As you can see on the board, a pawn can move 2 steps at a time when it is on the starting rank. But once the pawn has moved, example, my pawn is on this rank, okay? So now I cannot go 2 steps because the pawn has already been moved. It can only go 1 step at a time and only in the straight line. So this was the movement of the pawn. How does a pawn move? Now let's see some special cases of the pawn. For example, you have pushed your pawn towards this rank, second last rank. As you can see, this is the last rank of the board and this is the second last rank of the board for white. And for black, this will be the last rank and this will be the second last rank because the pawn pushed towards this direction. Last rank. Once the pawn reaches to the last rank of the board, which is this square for me right now, so whenever the pawn reaches towards end, you can make any piece you want. Either it can be a queen, either it can be a rook, knight or bishop. You cannot make a king again, but instead of king, you can make any piece. Like for example, I am pushing my pawn and I will keep the queen. The pawn can be transferred to any piece once it reaches to the last rank of the board. This is rank is the last rank of the board for white and this is the last rank for the black. Now let's take our second special move for pawns. Let me arrange all the black pawns for you. Okay. Now let's see how does the pawn captures. For example, the white has played its first move, this, okay, and the black has played this move. So a white pawn can capture in the cross direction. Here white can capture this black pawn. Suppose now the black has played this pawn push. Now again it's in the cross direction, in a diagonal, it can capture this pawn. Okay, and let's see another case. Suppose white has played 2 steps and black has also played this 2 steps. Now white cannot capture this pawn because it is ahead of this pawn. You cannot kill this pawn. But you can kill a pawn which is in diagonal to this or the inner cross direction of this pawn. So till now we have seen that how does the pawn move. Once the pawn reaches to the last rank of the board, you can make any piece like queen, rook, knight, bishop. And we have seen how does the pawn captures. Now let's see. Let's take a puzzle. Which all pawns white can capture right now. It's white to play. You have to identify which pawns white can take right now or capture right now. You can pause the video and think for the answer. The answer is white can capture this pawn and this pawn. Other all pawns are not be captured by white. These 3 pawns are in the diagonal or in the cross form of the white pawn. That's why white can capture this 3 pawns. Okay. So let's move forward to another special move. For this move, there is a rule. See another special case of a pawn which is called as Enpassand rule. For this rule, there are few rules which you must be follow. The white pawn should always be on the 5th rank and the black pawn should always be on the 7th rank. Now let's see. As you can see this position right now. Okay, your black supposed have played. Once a second. The black has played this pawn was 2 steps. So you might be wondering, we cannot capture this like this, right? But in Enpassand rule, you can capture this pawn like this way. You have to take a pawn over here and this pawn will be captured. So this rule is known as Enpassand rule. Found this video helpful? Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that bell for more chess tips. Thanks for watching. Until next time.